Well guys, we have an exciting episode for you. For anybody that's been following us for a while, you may remember back that we had this episode where our friend, his boat sunk when we were in Formentera, Ibiza. Catastrophic, really sad moment when he lost his sailboat. Well, it's 2 years later and we've got him and he's gonna join us to recap that event, and also some never before seen footage. We got some photos, we got a little bit of video, and we're gonna sit down and answer all those questions that you guys gave us over the last 2 years.
All right, so let's get calling.
Kenny's boat is essentially on the beach.
All right, Kenny, thanks so much for joining us here, and we welcome you, and we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, obviously about that time 2 years ago when you were on Sea Dogs in Spain.
Thanks for making a recap of this. This is actually pretty cool on an event that happened in my life here that's was pretty big actually.
Yeah, man, and we appreciate that, and we thank you for taking the time to talk to us about this. So,
hey, no worries, man.
We know a lot of people online were really interested, obviously, in the event that took place with you and your sailboat in Formentera, Spain, and there's been a lot of questions, a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, some positive, some negative. And we thought this would be a great opportunity to sort of get the follow-up, your side of the story. Straight off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and sort of what you were doing at the time, and then we'll jump into some questions.
So, career-wise, before I went on this adventure, I was an engineer for a railway company in Canada, and decided just to take off a little bit like you guys and just have an adventure, basically. So learned how to sail. The family always had a couple of boats, but learned how to sail through a couple of courses, which complemented my navigation experience prior, and then we took off. Started in the Caribbean, and then across the Atlantic, and then into the Med, which is eventually landed in Formentera the wrong way, and that's why we're having this story right now.
Awesome. And what kind of boat was Sea Dogs?
So Sea Dogs was a 1985 Endeavour 42, in all a very sturdy vessel, good for passages.
So just sort of get an idea of, what you had sort of been doing prior to arriving into Formentera. I mean, where had you just sailed from, and, how long had you been sort of at sea?
I've been sailing solo since Portugal.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
So we went from Portugal, Gibraltar, and then back up sailing along the coast. Well, I mean, solo, me and the dog.
Yeah. Lots of shifts she had, I know.
I was sailing from Alicante to Formentera. Alicante to Formentera was an overnight sail. I hadn't slept in a little bit over 30 hours or so.
Okay.
Which led to one of my mistakes is the snubber. God, I'm never gonna forget a bloody snubber. But I mean, I was using a snubber since the Caribbean. Basically, every time we anchored, every time, and the only time I had to forget it was Formentera.
And we can vouch for that because we had been sailing with you in Portugal and anchored with you, and you always had a snubber on. So it wasn't like, that wasn't a regular thing for you. So
I guess fast forward, you've anchored, and what's sort of happened next? What's going on?
So normal procedure, anchor, back down on the anchor, 7-to-1 chain. Then we said we were going to go do a bike ride.
Yeah.
Off we went, basically, for a 5 or 6 hour cycle around Formentera.
Yeah.
So we hop back on, and then we're driving back down to your boat, and I'm like, where's the second Canadian flag? I mean, we both had our Canadian flags waving, and I was like, where's where's my boat? And lo and behold, off to the distance on the beach was a 42-foot vessel on its side. And I was like, remember the Simpsons show where I think Homer puts a barbecue pig somewhere and he's like, it's still good, it's still good.
Yeah.
And I was like the same way. I was looking at my boat as, yeah, it's sand, it's still good, it's still good.
Oh,
we can pull it off, it's still good.
Yeah.
But, that's where the disaster basically started. And went to go inspect the boat. And that's where it really hit, basically. That's where, all of my stuff was floating everywhere. Whatever I had bought in the fridge was all swollen, floating everywhere. A good thing, the boat was leaning on one side, so computer, a lot of the electronics I was able to actually recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it sort of all kicked in.
Yeah.
And then you get all the locals going, who's this idiot that parked his boat on the side of the beach? So it wasn't a good, fun time, but it is what it is. I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the best thing is that your attitude was just so positive throughout the whole thing. Like, honestly.
I agree.
Like, thinking back on it now, like, you really did keep such a positive attitude, and I don't know if we would have been as strong as that.
No, definitely not.
So, $1 million question. Did you have insurance?
I did not have insurance. Did the Caribbeans cross the Atlantic uninsured, thinking, hey, that's what everybody's doing. And knowing that it would have been so cheap in the Med, first thing I would have been doing is finding insurance. So, $1 million question, no, I was not insured. And you sort of bite the bullet on that one.
Yeah, because I think there is a vast impression on the net that it was just blame was trying to be laid on the ferries and things like that, so that it could just be an easy insurance claim. And I think it was really important to establish that was not the case at all.
No.
in the for you.
That is no.
No.
A lot of blame. Again, you're right. Blame was trying to be put on the salvage crew, the ferries, my competency towards seamanship. But at the end of it all, it was really just exhaustion, made mistake, and you sort of pay the price.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the factors with the large wakes from the ferry and they played a role in what happened, but obviously the crux of the situation is without the snubber what happened is what happened. So.
It also happened to two other boats prior to mine, so it's a recurring thing. Yep. But I guess I was a lucky winner.
Right. So I guess I'm going to ask the other $1 million question. There was quite a lot of rhetoric online about the salvage operation, as I'm sure you're aware. So I guess, what were your overall impressions of the salvage operation? And do you think it could have been done better, or do you think they did the best of what they could under the circumstances?
Outside of the price, they were quick. It took us, 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah.
They did what they had to do. Take the boat offshore and bring it back to shore.
Yeah.
So, what was not shown on the video is the prior salvage operation that was attempted, because prior to the actual salvage, it took us 7 or 8 days before taking the vessel off the shore.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I tried another crew to pull that boat out, which was not successful. The keel of the vessel was pinned between two rocks. I saw a few of the comments. A lot of them said they could have put the flotation devices a little bit tighter so the vessel actually lifts a little bit more. But at that point, it's a half-open vessel that you're trying to pull off the shore. If it sinks a foot more, sinks a foot less. There were structural damages done to the vessel. Coming from a mechanical and construction engineer, it was not salvageable based on price to actually fix it. Even if you fix it, you still have structural damage. So basically, you'd have to gut the whole boat out, find the damages, reconstruct in one of the most priciest islands on Earth.
Yeah.
So it wasn't salvageable.
Yeah.
You've highlighted that Sea Dogs was not salvageable. While it was on the hard, what did you do next? What was sort of the next steps when you determined that Sea Dogs wasn't salvageable at that point?
So once we were on the hard, it was basically the rush to strip it off, strip everything off that was basically of value, and then try to sell those parts, which ended up being a bust because as soon as I left Formentera, everything got stolen. So, but basically tried to actually sell everything I could, and then get the boat chopped up and down the bin.
It was actually taken apart and destroyed?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually the guy that chopped it up.
Oh.
We had an excavator there, and yeah.
Oh wow! Sorry. No, I think we didn't know that, did we?
I think you had sent me a photo of like when it looked like a box.
Exactly. So we put it on the hard, put it on its side, and then we had a small little excavator just chop everything up and put it in the trash can. So we separated the steel from the fiberglass according to their weight system.
Yeah.
And so I was basically trying to hustle and get everything done because of the price of having a boat in that yard and basically the price of everything in Formentera.
Yeah. So pricey. It was, yeah. Alright, so what happened to Kenny and Mikachu?
Wow, one hell of a roller coaster afterwards. I stayed in Formentera for about a month and a half. I was driving a vessel for an old German lady, which she didn't speak any English nor French. She spoke really bad Spanish, and a lot of German, which I didn't understand anything. Then found another job in Ibiza working on electric catamarans.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Did that for a month to have a little bit of money to basically travel back home. Those weren't really good times. I mean, we were nearing winter. It was October, November.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after that, it was showering with a hose in 5-degree weather. It was trying to eat whatever I could find. You're basically homeless at that point.
Wow.
Nights were cold, and I mean cold. I've never hugged a dog so much in my life. A little bit of depression set in for at least a month. And really not so good times, actually.
I can imagine.
So, managed to line up a few bucks and then went back home after that.
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
And what are you doing now back in Canada? What's life like for you and Mikachu now?
So I came back to Canada, joined an engineering crew in one of the biggest railway projects in Montreal. Did that for close to a year. After talking it over with the family, decided to buy the farm. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Bought a farm, bought a small house next door. It's a fixer-upper. And me and Mika, which she's now just waiting on me to basically eat. We've been living here, basically farm life, I guess. From engineer to sailor to farming.
Excellent. And do you think there are any plans of buying a Sea Dogs #2?
There is. There are.
Spoiler.
So I got a spoiler alert. I got a 10-year plan here to put myself back up together and try to retire before I'm 55 and buy another Sea Dogs.
Whee!
That's amazing. And I guess what a lot of people want to know is, what kind of boat do you want to buy? Mono, catamaran, particular boat?
Right now, leaning towards a mono.
That's awesome, man.
Nice, so good.
All right, well, I guess wrapping it up, from this event, are there any words of wisdom or sort of lessons you've learned that that you would pass on?
So outside of the don't ever forget a snubber, basically another question, or how you could actually ask it, is do I regret anything? And the answer is no. The whole adventure was amazing. I mean, the ending is a little bit sour. Still an adventure. And if you have any dreams or you'd like to do anything, just go out there and do it. It's all there. And just take in everything, the good, the bad, the ugly.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for talking to us, man. We really, really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure, guys. It was mine.
Wow, guys, that was incredible. It was such an honor getting to speak with Kenny, listening to all that feedback, kind of relive that terrible moment, obviously 2 years ago. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to go back and see the original video of when the event first happened, click the link above. And of course,
if you like this video, remember to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It really helps us out. So thank you.